Welcome back, everybody, to
Woo!
Metanoia chat room. How's everybody doing?
Woo,
Everyone's
woo,
good.
woo. We're doing great.
Yeah. Welcome
Great.
back to me.
It's-
Haven't been here in
I
2
know,
months.
welcome back to
welcome
you.
back.
Angela.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, but how's it been? I haven't seen the past 2 chat rooms when I wasn't here. I'm so sorry.
It's okay,
That-
me too.
That's
I'm joking. The producers are like, oh, excuse me, why is the host not?
Well, I mean, we did miss last month. We didn't have one because we had camp.
yeah. Oh, how was that? I also wasn't there.
I also wasn't there.
It's okay. We don't
yes,
have.
Well,
you
I was
were
there for
a
one day.
Yeah,
but like that was most of
Yeah,
the.
it was hot.
Anyways, we're over camp, right, guys? Because I wasn't there and I'm still holding a grudge.
Yeah,
Welcome
yeah.
to
Camp
Metanoia
was
chat
fun.
room.
Yeah, camp was great.
All right.
Philippines was fun.
It's going back to that.
I really am. No, because me personally going home every time. It's been 3 years before this vacation that I last went. And I told EJ this before I went home that it's been really difficult for me to go home every time because there's this something in me that's just hard to be consistent in. So basically what I'm trying to say is the person that you see that I am now is so different from when you see me if I go on vacation. If you guys don't know, I was there for 9 years before I came here. So I basically grew up there and people took care of me there. They really did. So that sense of being taken care of and my personality of always being their kid, being their baby, sticks with that place. So whenever I go home, I'm such a different
like a
person.
kid.
Yeah, I'm like a kid and I succumb to that thing. So to kind of just ease into our topic today, what EJ told me this year as I opened up to him about that is that this year I want it to be different. I want you to be actually true to yourself when you go
Ooh.
home.
Yeah.
And that just changed the whole entire vacation, which is why I keep talking about it, because this is the first time that I actually went home as who I am, as you guys know me, and as I know myself too. So with our topic today, it is about like being true to yourself and what
Yes.
does it mean in the first place?
Yeah.
What does it mean to hide? How does it affect your faith and everything that has to do with being true? So let's start with the very basic question of what does it really mean to be true to yourself? You know, the advice that I was given. What does it mean to be who you are in front
Right.
of people, wherever you are?
Yeah, and we have. By the way, we have
yeah,
a very
Oh
first,
yeah,
by the
I
way,
totally.
first
I
time.
guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm just
guest
kind of here.
She's
Please
nervous.
introduce yourself. It really
Oh, yeah?
flew over her head.
I'm just always here. That's why.
Yeah,
it's like
that's why
you don't
it's-
realize
Let's
that I'm
welcome
like a guest.
Divine
Yes.
Kiano.
To
Woo!
answer our infamous
everybody.
question.
And she's someone that's actually usually behind the camera instead of in front of the camera.
That's why we
so-
forgot about her. We
Yeah, I'm
totally
usually
didn't
here.
choose-
That's why everyone forgot. But that's okay.
Yeah, and
you
of
know.
course we prepared something, deep, meaningful conversations
Yeah,
just
see-
for you.
See, I told producer Mijay that if it's too serious and I have no insights, but hopefully this conversation I get to share something. I don't know.
Yeah, because
yeah.
it's not a lot that we get to talk to you.
Yeah,
so
she doesn't open up a lot.
right now we're gonna open up her mind, open up her
Okay.
heart.
What if she starts
else?
crying?
If I start crying, guys.
That
Oh,
would be
yeah.
the first.
But
No.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a fun episode.
Yeah.
So yeah,
This is Divine.
This
Who
is
are
me.
you? And what does it
Um,
mean to be the real you? The real you.
Yes.
I don't know how to answer that. Okay, but if you've known me forever, maybe I don't know if Chen could testify to this because I mean I
I've
have known her
you
for
more than 10 years.
a long time
Oh,
since we were like
wow.
9,
Yeah,
right?
and we're now.
And I
what,
feel
24?
like maybe it's just me. It's kind of hard to see if you've changed or not through yourself.
Yeah,
I guess at least for me, it seems like I haven't really changed much, to be honest. I find it hard to be, let's say at school, like in high school, I remember I acted the same way at school than I did at church.
so you were pretty consistent.
I'm consistent. I find it that
Mm.
I know. Okay, one thing I'm really bad at lying. One thing that scares me is my mom. Right.
really
Somehow, if I lie, even if about the smallest things, she tends to know it right away.
because she
so-
knows
Yeah,
you.
she just
I
knows
mean,
me,
that's
bro.
the mother.
That's why I'm just like So even stuff like that, lying about who I am is kind of hard.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, I mean, this is what you get, bro. This is just me here at church. This is me. That's why, I mean, who am
So
I?
wow,
I
you
don't-
could actually say that you've always been true to yourself.
I mean, I'd like to think so. I don't know, but
But were there some parts where you tend to hide?
oh,
From
I mean,
people?
I mean, there are like small things. Like I remember in high school, you know, the first day of school, it was grade 9. We had like a list. It was homeroom.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, guys, we have this list. We're gonna write your favorite things, like favorite movie, and then you're gonna go around the room and find people with the same like favorites.
Oh.
Right? So I was like, you know, I'm into my like K dramas and stuff. The favorite movie, I put like some like Japanese movie,
Oh,
and no one knew what it was, and
no.
everyone had like
Yikes.
Titanic. So I was like,
Oh.
I erased it. And I was like, Titanic.
Oh no.
That's okay. You see that's a
like
good.
that.
That's a good example.
You know,
That's a good
high
example.
school
Yeah.
is a time where I guess a lot of people care about
Who they are.
who they are.
How
and
they-
belonging too.
How
Yeah.
they perceive themselves.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I get it. I get it. I mean, everyone's kind of still finding themselves at that time.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like the most. I mean, it's not much, but I guess it's still
Yeah.
kind of like I want it to be cool sometimes. You
no,
know?
but I want to get like into that, like tap into that. Like you see how the majority were saying, "Oh, Titanic, whatever," but like it starts from a young age, like your discovery of yourself,
Yes.
and sometimes that's often influenced by your surroundings.
Oh, yeah.
yes, big time.
Big
Really?
time, right?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I think that question is such a big question to start
For
with.
real, bro.
Like, can I just say that? What does it mean to really
Yeah.
like
came up with this
be your
question?
true self? Like that's a hard question. But
Mhm.
I feel like one way that I could answer that is where do you find your identity in? You know what I mean? Because that's sometimes that's not where your true self is, but sometimes your identity is kind of influenced by what you like. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it what you do? Is that where you find your identity in? Is it in the people that you hang out with?
Yeah.
Because you know that a lot of people can play into the factor of like who we are, right?
Yes.
And so where do you find your identity? I feel like if you're able to answer that question, then you can you know that could be like a starting place for you to really discover your true self.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where do you find? That's the thing is, it's not only about where do you find it, but what is the right place to find your identity in?
Yeah.
Because you can find it in different places, and you can answer it easily. Yeah, I find my identity here and there, but which
Yeah.
one is the right one?
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like we're gonna be talking about this as we like talk more into it, like getting to the spiritual side of things. But if I could like just share a little bit, like what's an example of like finding your identity in the people that you're surrounded with? Because I feel like
Mm.
as we start, like let's say high school, I feel like high school is
Oh
the
yeah, that was the
place
time.
Yes.
where everyone
We don't talk about high
Mhm.
school.
you know
Yeah.
tries to find themselves, or well, not tries to find themselves, but fit in
Yes.
into a mold, right? And you know, I thought that this was me, like me liking, I don't know, sports. Well, I do like sports, but like
But since everyone else was kind of like,
yeah, I was
Yeah,
dragged
yeah.
into it,
Mhm.
so I kind of liked it, I guess.
Mhm.
Or like I don't know, I found myself as someone that always needed to fit in.
Yeah.
And so
Mm.
to fit in the mold, I had to be this certain person.
yeah, you had to change a lot about.
Yeah, but like when I do go home, I'm like, I don't think I like that so
Yeah.
much about
Mm.
myself.
I only like it when I'm at school, but when I'm at home, yeah, I guess
yeah,
not.
like I feel like that's not me. Like for example, what I truly loved, I didn't know that I really loved anime.
Yeah.
Because it's lame. You know what? Stuff like that.
Stuff
I
like
remember
that,
back
right?
then, I was like the only K-pop person. They're like K-pop nerd. And I'm just
I
like,
know,
that's
everybody
why
loves
I
K-pop.
never say anything about it. Like every
Yeah.
time, like someone you like Sam Kim, you know,
Yeah.
he's Korean. The first thing
Yeah.
they do is they go to me. They go, she speaks. I'm like,
Yeah,
guys,
like,
no, I do
That's
not.
me, right?
Because but
Yeah, so there's certain things that you know about yourself, but
Yeah.
you tend to hide it so that
Yes.
you fit this perfect mold of
Mhm.
fitting in with the crowd that you're
Yeah.
everyone
you're
has
in,
this
right?
kind of like, you have to have this. I don't know, like everyone has a different version of you in their heads. And
Yes.
for a specific person, you kind of have to be like, okay, I'm this person to this person. You know what I mean? You have to build this character, I guess.
And also I figure out with myself, like there's some things that my school friends really cared about, and I'm just like, I don't really care. Like, it doesn't matter to me, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say, like, I don't know. I guess this is the cliche, like being popular, being the top, like being known by everyone. That's something that, or clout, right? Yeah. So everyone loves having clout, being known, right? Being respected. Oh, I know that girl. She's my friend. Da, 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 da. Like, I thought I cared about it, but I'm just like,
you don't see the importance in it.
It's so tiring. Like, and that's the thing that I did not like about myself. And that's why when I went to like university, college, that's when I'm like, okay, like this is me. You know? Like this is how I'm gonna present myself, because this is my core self, right? But yeah, there was a lot of discovery, I guess, during you know.
And I'm sure a lot of people are like that for high school students.
Yeah. And it's something relatable. I mean, come on, like who doesn't want to
be cool?
Who doesn't want to be cool? Oh my god, the cool kid.
Yeah, the lame anime kid.
I don't know if
the lame Korean kid.
K-pop. I did not share that with anyone. Like, I shared my one good friend. I'm like, yo, do you like anime?
And then
she's like, oh, I'll try it out. I'm like,
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
never mind. Never talked about it.
I hope that friend's
That's
doing well.
okay.
I hope
But
you're
you know
doing well.
what? When I found out, because there were like guys in my school that actually talked about anime. They're like, oh, One Punch Man is a sick anime. I'm like my ears was like getting
did you
I'm like,
say?
whoa, there's actually people that like anime.
Yeah.
So those are an example of I guess me finding out that I really love anime.
I'm remembering the similar story with yours. I wasn't even like a Christian then, but I was in school and we had a dance. You know, school dances.
Yes,
They're fun and you dance like the pop songs right now.
Yes.
So like a leader, I guess from the older grades came in, is like, oh, we're taking some songs for the dance. Like, can you write down your favorite song?
Oh no.
Tell me why little me wrote "Who Am I" by Casting Crowns
Oh, I see.
as my favorite song.
Okay.
And then only then at the dance did I realize that they were playing the songs that you listed. So I'm like, oh damn, I know they're not gonna play it, but that's really like, I felt so embarrassed that that's
like
what I
music
put.
is a big part too. Like, it tells so much about yourself. And so like when you go to school,
Yeah.
like bopping like trap music.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. A lot of people, even, I mean, not just for stuff like that, but even for like, I guess your Christian side, you don't realize that. I mean, I could be like this, like for us, we could be like, oh, I like "Who Am I" by Casting Crowns, and that would be such a normal thing. But if you go outside to your school and say that, it's like, they'll be like, that's so weird, you know, like, wow, that's such a lame song or something, you know? And I'm just like, but it is a good song, you know, but it is who you are, but you tend to just change who you are. And you know?
Especially with the whole faith and spiritual thing. Because when the way that the world talks about it, I realize, like, I've been going to school over the past week, and the way that the teacher talks about people is like, it's very general, that everyone, especially spiritually, everyone has their own beliefs. And I'm just here like, but they see it as a religion, they see it as a thing that you do, a thing that you believe in. But for me, whenever I come to church or whenever I'm with my time with God, that's my whole entire life. It's not just a religion, it's not just a belief that differs from everyone else, but it's literally my faith and my soul's salvation, and everything that I do is like surrounds the idea of my love for God and my love for Jesus. But to them, it's just like, oh, okay, it's something you believe. I believe something different.
It's
that's
just
fine.
something that's
you know?
there.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And like I guess another like question about it is that how do you know that like you're being true to yourself? Like, we answered like, what does it mean to be true to yourself? But how do you know if you are being true to yourself?
That's a hard one.
I think you guys brought up that there's a different version of yourself to everyone. I think you know that you're being true to yourself is if those versions are very similar to each other, meaning that you're the same whether
True.
or not.
Mhm.
You're in this environment or that environment, and every person can agree with about who you are. You know, so
Yeah.
if you're a Jesus lover to your friends at church, you're a Jesus lover to your family at home.
Mhm.
You know, it
Mm.
doesn't. Their perspectives don't alternate.
So like basically consistency in how everyone else perceives you.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is that's a good answer actually, cuz like I guess that's the best way of finding out if you're living a lie to
yeah.
Who
some
am I
people.
even?
People will notice because I don't think you will notice it yourself.
Yeah, I
That's just
think
something
that's
hard.
hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's very easy to put up a front,
Yeah.
Mm.
but like when you I guess get everyone's receipts of like who you are.
To this person, I'm
Resume,
this, to that
write down
person,
my
I'm that.
resume.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know. I mean, would you guys ask like me and then someone else and then another person?
How do you know Chang?
Yeah, like
Do you think you're true to yourself at the moment?
at the moment, yes.
Yes. How? What makes you say that? Huh? I feel like No, I'm
Because
kidding.
it just comes naturally. Like I
Mm.
don't have to choose my words.
I feel like
Mm.
that's.
Yeah, you're a no
a-
filter person.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
that's
like
a
that
great
about
way
you.
to know. Just because I mean, if you are different people, you kind of have to try a little bit to be
It's
different.
hard.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
something you kind of have to do consciously.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I'm here today. I gotta dress like this, or
Yeah,
I
exactly.
gotta
Yeah.
I gotta talk like this now.
Exactly.
So like, I feel like once you realize that you're talking hood to your homies. I mean, okay, I was gonna say maybe like homies talk to your homies differently than your mom. I was gonna say I talk to
Yeah.
my mom the same way.
Yeah.
I talk to her like she's in the hood.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No.
Because you are from the hood.
No,
Your
I mean,
mom.
low key. But like, I don't know. I guess you just realize it because again, it is. Yeah, you could tell. I mean, it's hard to tell if you're just because this is the way you live your life.
Yes.
But if you act differently,
It
here
just comes
and there.
effortlessly. Like you know when you're true to yourself.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
when you're filtering
If you're not
things
trying.
with people.
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know. That's how I feel like everyone's answer was a great one. So yeah. And here's the thing. I guess the other question that's very very spicy is
Spicy.
why do you think people put up a front? I think we kind of touched up on this. in
Yeah.
our
So that
earlier-
sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Maybe it's not just about fitting in, but some people actually change themselves to stand out.
There you
Mm.
go.
So to be,
Yeah,
number
exactly.
one, to be
Yeah.
on top of something, to be seen, to be
Mhm.
acknowledged.
Yeah.
Like in a friend group, you want to be always the loud one so that everyone laughs at your jokes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we have that
Oh,
friend.
I have
yeah.
that friend. I
You
know
know that
that guy.
friend where
I was about to say.
they have to
Yeah.
repeat the
They have to repeat
yeah,
the
joke.
joke 4 times because no one heard it
Yeah.
the first
to
3.
get validation, affirmation.
know.
Yeah.
We don't mention.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
mention
that
names.
is
EJ.
Like EJ. like, we don't mention names like that, but
Yeah. Anyways, special
Yeah.
Shout
special
out to
mention.
Hey, that's
Shout
the
out to
producer.
EJ who has to repeat his
Every
joke
joke.
10 times for everyone
Yeah.
to
it'd be
hear.
like that sometimes.
What were we talking about?
Standing out.
Oh yeah,
Standing
standing out. It is true. So a lot of people maybe they grew up like that. They didn't have the attention and stuff, and they find it in
That's
their friends.
true.
And I
Yeah.
get it. But
Yeah.
I mean, how do you talk to someone like that? Like stop telling your joke 3-4 times. Bro. Like I've had enough.
Relax.
Relax, brother.
We're really exposing him like that. Oh damn.
No, I'm kidding.
Anyways, yeah, like a lot of the reason why we put up a front is because of people
Yeah.
pleasing
Other people, yeah.
right? Pleasing, I don't know. It could be our parents,
Big
who-
time.
big time.
yeah.
It could be our
Friends.
lovers, our friends.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like how I say lovers. Our friends,
The church.
the church.
Mhm.
Yes,
It's a
right?
big one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really because we want to please people, and I feel
Mhm.
like that's the root of why we have to change up, or create a versions of
Mhm.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Which,
Yeah.
if you think about it, I mean, Pastor doesn't care if I like anime. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what
She
I'm
has her
saying?
own life.
Yeah, she has her own life. Like, why change yourself to be,
Yeah.
someone that you're not? You
Yeah.
can like anime.
Yeah. I just wanted to touch a little bit upon that. As someone who really likes working with children and
Yeah.
studying it right now, the whole idea of people pleasing really comes from childhood,
Mhm.
like big
For
time.
sure.
Because children or young people of young age who grew up with parents who constantly need something from them, like who constantly need them to be successful, or if they make a mistake they are reprimanded for it, they are
Yeah.
punished for it. So they grow up thinking that they should always be around people to please them. They should
That's
always be
true.
around
Big
people
time.
in perfection so that they get a reward out of it, so that they don't get
Mm.
punished by it, just like they learned in with their parents. So I think that's where it roots from how you grew up in your home and what you were talking about, how your environment
Mm-hmm.
is. And the question is is how do you then break it when you grow up?
You're true.
So how do you break that idea
'Cause
of needing to please people when you grow up?
Because literally that your whole system is that's how it was created. Like
Yeah.
that's what you grew up with, and so you find it. I guess later on when you're able to
Explore.
Yeah.
explore or like realize these things, you find it that wow, this is I'm like almost hardwired to
Yes.
find affirmation in everything that I do, find validation in every single thing that
Yep.
I do in life, right? And so whether that's just mingling or creating network or finding friends,
Yeah.
like you always want to find validation. And I guess we're really dealing with, I don't know if you call it a childhood trauma, but
Yeah.
or something that you just, I don't know,
Took
figure out
From growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
And a lot of people don't realize that this
Yeah.
is why the way they are is because they grew up that
Yep.
way. But
but you know what, you have to be like I don't know, like not intelligent in like book smart, but like intelligent,
Aware, self-aware.
self-aware.
And you also need other people to point it out for you.
True.
'Cause it's
So
hard to find it in
since you
yourself.
grew up in such a, I guess, restricting childhood, finding, I guess, new people to help you, I guess, grow out of that. Or I mean, at some point, if you surround yourself with people who care too much, then you're gonna care a lot
Yeah.
about things. And if you surround yourself with, let's say, you guys, I guess I don't care no more. You know what I'm saying?
No, for real though, this is
You know
something
what
that
I mean? It's like I'm more comfortable with people like this.
Yeah.
And if I was outside and maybe I was with like the cool guys, like, oh my gosh, yo, can you? I don't know.
Yeah, and you see, here's the thing. The reason why it's one of the reasons why people put up a front is because they're not actually in a place where they're accepted.
Yes.
They think that they have to belong instead of just being able to
Yeah.
express themselves freely.
And maybe they can't find any other place to do so. That's why they try so hard to fit in this, because they think there's no other choice.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why for me, I'm gonna get a little sappy. But I'm very appreciative of my friends. I'm not saying you guys are my friends. The assumptions.
mind.
Wow.
Oh, sorry.
No, but like
for a second.
no, I guess they're my friends.
I guess.
No, like I'm very like I appreciate my friends so much, like my close friends, because I can just be myself. Sometimes they judge, but like it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
good.
It's all for the memes.
Judgment's there, but
Mhm.
it's all good, and like I'm just who I am,
Yeah.
and I thrive.
Yeah, you are
Yeah.
who you are, and in a sense, like your friends, they're like you can ask them for help. They can help you out. They can help you
Yeah.
grow, and it's not very restricting.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
And I mean, to add on to the sappy, we wouldn't want any other versions of you other than your real self.
maybe
Of course.
maybe change.
I love this version of
Maybe
myself.
change,
Maybe change
when we
this
play
right now.
games and you scream a lot.
Ah man.
No, it's really good though. So yeah, like for I guess young people that are trying to break that habit of theirs,
Yeah.
putting up a front in front of people, are you, like, this is our question, are you really in the right place? Are you really in the right group of friends, in the
Yeah.
right crowd, right? Because if you are, then there is no need for you to ever live a lie,
Yes.
try to create this version of yourself.
Yep.
So, and if you find yourself having to create that version, then change up your setting, right?
Yep.
It's easier said than done, but hey, that's something that you gotta figure out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and ask, for guidance in that too.
Mm.
And also, But I feel like we already answered this question. Why is it hard to be true to yourself?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like we kind
Pretty
of
much
talked about
the
like
same thing, yeah.
acceptance, right?
So why don't we then get into the more spiritual side of this whole topic of being yourself
yeah.
and answer the question of, okay, it's, not being true to yourself affects who you are, affects the people around you, but how does it affect also your life with God? Or how does it
Mm.
affect your Christian life, your walk in your faith? What do you think, Guest Divine?
I mean, oh wow.
Wow.
Okay. Okay, so
Special
like
guest, Divine.
ultimately, we are all here for a purpose.
Yeah.
To,
Yes.
spread the word and do all that fun stuff. And if you aren't able to do that outside of the church, I mean, like, what's the point of having the church life just in the church?
Mhm.
You know what I
That's
mean? Like, I mean,
true.
it's kind of hard to be like,
They have this saying that life doesn't really start inside of the church, but it starts outside.
it starts outside. And that's very true because, I mean, there's only so much you can share to here because
Yeah.
everyone, you received something so nice. Wouldn't it be nice to share it to other people, your friends, people who you want to spend the rest of your lives with,
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of hard to be a different person here in church and different person outside because, being not who you are is
Yeah, and it's-
hiding a lot.
Yeah, and it's true. Like when they say like that term, living a double life,
Mhm.
it is living like a double life, and I've experienced it myself because I had my, moments when I was a teenager. I feel like everyone has those moments. Did you have that moment?
I don't even know
What
what the moment
moments?
is, bro. You
No,
haven't
like
Explain the
where you're
moments.
just curious and you want to try everything and you want to do
what have
what
you
the
tried?
world does. Okay, like
Yeah.
drinking, like that, like
Okay.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Mhm.
figuring out. Oh, do I like that? Well,
I like that.
I
Well.
don't. I guess I don't.
I guess. Anyways.
No,
Anyways,
I
we're
know
done with
that I
this.
don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or like smoking. I never really. Well, tried it once. Never.
Mhm.
Like I
Mm.
didn't get it.
Mm.
Right. So there's a lot of those times, or like partying with people, like all those things that you think will satisfy you,
Mhm.
and yet in the end realize that
Yeah.
satisfaction doesn't really come from
Mm.
those things.
So you
right?
dipped your foot in those
Yeah,
things. How did that
definitely.
affect your walk? Especially you were
Oh.
ministering at church the whole
Oh
time.
yes, big time. And I was like 12, by the way, 12, 13.
What are you
So
doing at 12?
early
Damn,
bloomer, right?
yeah.
I was in the wrong crowd, wrong hood, wrong.
All right, it's coming back. It's coming back.
It's come back.
All right. Chill.
Okay. What was the question?
How did that hood life affect
Oh,
your
no.
church life?
I don't feel like that. I really lived out the fullest of the hood life. No. Well, definitely, it meant lying.
Mm.
It meant a lot of lying to myself, lying to
Mhm.
my parents, lying to my
Leaders.
youth leaders,
Mhm.
my youth leader, who is now my husband.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. How the
How the
turntables,
tables
bro.
turn.
How
Turntables.
the turntables.
Yeah. So you have to do a lot of lying
Mhm.
because what it means to not be true to yourself is to lie, right?
Yeah.
So I had to do, a little bit.
One thing that always, I mean, I didn't do like, I mean, terrible things, but let's say like I did something, I sinned that week and have to like, let's say dance that
Yeah.
coming week. One thing I always think about is like back in the day, right? What is that? The synagogue or whatever? Like once,
Yeah.
if you were not holy or like if you're not cleansed, once you step there, you're like done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yup.
And I always think about that, like coming here, we have so much like grace. Just stepping
My
here
gosh.
in the building and I'm not burning. I'm not saying I like did really bad stuff. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like we are so privileged to be here worshiping.
Ooh.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Like that's a good thought. Like grace itself. Like we pervert grace when we live a life of lies, right?
Yes.
Because we're not. I love that verse where it says, well, not love it, but it's like more convicting that if you love the world, then you do not love the Father. I think that's one of the scriptures for today in sermon. But it's true, when you do not when you love the world, then you do not have the love for the Father.
Yes.
And I think that's what I was getting into, or what I was living in during the time of living a double life, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, grace is not something that we should ever take for granted. I know that it's it's a free thing that we just gain or earn from God.
And
Yeah,
it's easy
but
to
it's
forget just
heavy.
because it's just
Yes.
there,
It's just there.
and you
Yeah.
forget sometimes that you
Yeah,
have.
and I love that thing that Paul says. I forgot which scripture it came from, but somewhere in the New Testament. But basically, he was saying that if we do, pervert grace, does that mean that, I mean, if we do sin, does that mean that God's grace just abounds?
Mm.
No, it's not that. I mean, God's grace is abounding all the time.
Yeah.
However, when we call ourselves Christians, when we call ourselves follower of Christ, we no longer live that type of life.
Yeah.
We should have been, you know, separated or divorced from that type of life
Mhm.
when we enter a covenant with Christ Himself, right? And so that's a real question for those people. Are you really in a covenant with Christ? If you're still able, I love the pointing. If you're still able to live two lives, two separate lives,
Yeah.
right? Are you really living that covenant life with Christ? Because you cannot live two lives, right?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna bite off of that to answer the question of, um, of how does it affect your life? I think it drives you away from God,
Yes.
not being true to yourself, because our identity is rooted in Christ.
Mhm.
He is the one who formed us. Therefore, it's like we are a part of Him almost, and we are under His grace, and we are His creation. We are His children. And so when you depart from who you are, you're also departing slowly away from God.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna take my own experiences from that, again, from the Philippines for the past 2 months while I was gone. Same thing. I didn't really do, bad stuff. I really didn't. All we did was like travel. We had a lot of fun.
This is
but
confession right
This
now.
is my confession. For the 2 months that I was there, I only went to a physical church once.
Right.
Just once. The other times, like, I watched our service online. Devotionals, I totally forgot. Like, I didn't even touch my notebook for devotionals. I think I did it again once. And I made plans to have devotionals with my cousins. I was like, I want to share the word with you guys. Never did that. And just that sense of being distracted and like doing, the fun stuff, traveling,
Yeah.
the other fun stuff. It really drove me away from my identity in Christ, therefore driving me away from Christ Himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Like we when what was the question? When we put up a front, like, it affects our life with God by moving away from the image of God,
Yeah.
because we're all created by God's image, right? And so the more that we I guess lie to ourselves by being someone else, or yeah, we walk away from that mirror.
Yes.
Like, God's like the mirror, and then and then we slowly I guess forget who we are.
Yeah.
And the way to really understand ourselves is really by understanding who God is.
First. Yes.
Yes. So if you want to know more about who you are, then you need to understand who God is. Know more
Mhm.
about God, because that's your creator,
Yep.
right? Let's say he's the manufacturer, and we're like the
Yeah.
items, right? So what's a better way to understand ourselves than to go to the one who created us first,
Yeah.
right?
And not only to understand ourselves, but to change ourselves for the better.
Yeah.
So how do you know how to be a good person? Look at your good God. How do
Yes.
you know how to be a giving person? Look at the God who is the provider of all things.
For
Things like
sure.
that. Yeah.
And one of the verses that I think, like, I really loved from the sermon that Pastor Mark preached, Unsatisfied Cravings. Yeah, go watch it. Was from Jeremiah 1:5, where it says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before
Yes.
you were born, I set you apart." So God really is the one, like the best person to go to if you really want to discover who you are.
Yep.
And I love that one sign. I think when we went to the cabin, like, there's a church that we passed by, and it says, "Whatever is made always has a purpose.
That's
And so
true.
for us as people who were created, we always have a purpose, and that's where our identity lies in,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, those are good stuff. Anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and speaking of purpose too, I really just want to bring it up that being true to yourself is so important to your purpose because, like you said, it's about being the image of God, and we are a reflection
Yeah.
of who He is. And our purpose as Christians is to spread the gospel, is
Mhm.
to talk about salvation, is
Right.
to bring people back to Christ.
Yeah.
But how do you make people see Christ if they don't even see Him in you in the first place? The
Exactly.
first time that you meet them. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Yeah. Any other thoughts?
No.
I think we got really serious there.
Hmm.
Yeah. Being true to yourself is so important.
Oh yeah. I feel like you know, as young people, it's like we're the most prone for this.
It's our building years.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is our building years. Like,
And,
and that's why.
in high school, you think that all these things are cool.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, no.
They really are.
They really are not.
But you know what amazes me is that even like people who are like 40, 50, sometimes they're saying like, oh, I still don't know who I am.
Whoa.
I still don't know my purpose. And they're still trying to figure it out. So
right.
I guess for anyone struggling, of course, we give you tips on how to do it. But don't, force yourself into forming who you are for the rest of your life now. It takes time.
It comes.
Yeah.
And even when you grow up, you're still going to build yourself. So chill,
The whole
We're
life
chilling.
is a building process.
Yes.
It's just, I guess at this point, you gotta know who you surround yourselves with.
Yep.
I
Mhm.
guess is the biggest thing. I'm glad to be surrounded by
Producer
Mijay.
Wow.
Mijay.
Producer
Producer Mijay.
But yeah, it is like a lifelong process. And again, even for myself, like sometimes I don't even know if I'm in the right track. But again, ultimately, you just gotta pray about it.
You know
Ask
what's
God.
good?
Mhm.
Like talking about friends, like it's good because we all walk the same
Yes.
like walk of faith
Yeah.
in this life. And so always try to find people like that in your life because you will find yourself being more true to yourself. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Why don't we then go on to our segment of Meet to Know You? And in speaking of this topic of being true to yourself, we'll get to know the true self of, again, one of our Metanoia members. So we'll be back right after the segment and enjoy with our guest today.
Yeah.
See ya.
Meet to know you. So yeah, meet to know you. Metanoia chat room episode topic.
So do you wanna have like,
Guess.
someone as a guest?
Yeah, I want
like
food with
Maria?
that too. Actually,
Sure,
I'm a little
yeah.
hungry. Oh,
Hi.
we didn't see you there. Sorry, it's just me and Mijay trying to plan out our next episode. From Metanoia chat room.
Fifth episode for it?
Around, yeah.
I
And
forgot.
I heard that Divine is the guest for today, for this
Yeah.
episode actually, and Nadine is not here. So does that mean we're doing Metanoia chat room? Meet
mean-
to know you. Sorry.
To know you?
See, I don't even know the
guess
name.
so. Yeah.
This is Meet to
There's
Know
no
You.
choice.
Oh, this is Meet to Know You. Oh, wow. What? How do they usually do this?
So usually I guess they introduce themselves and then
Yeah,
somehow they try to introduce their guests and do a drum roll.
they
and
do
pop
drum roll.
out. Yeah.
Oh,
I
we
don't
want to
know.
try that? Maybe it might
Yeah.
work, right?
Yeah, magic.
Okay, let's try it. The
So
Let's do
with
a
that said, our
let's
guest
do-
for today is
drum roll.
drum roll.
It doesn't. Is it working? Oh, it
Oh,
does
hey!
work. Oh my.
Oh my gosh, who's that?
It does work. Oh.
Hi everybody, I am Stanley.
We have Stanley today, everyone.
Hi
Say
everybody.
So Stanley, are you good?
I'm good.
Okay.
You good?
All right.
Yeah, I'm good.
All
I
right.
think
So
you're a bit confused on why you're here.
yeah.
Yeah, I suddenly got invited today, and I am like, "What's this for?" Right? And then, well,
Yeah.
who am I to lie? I actually listen to the Metanoia.
You
chat
do.
room.
Wow.
Right.
You're a fan.
Of
You're a
course I
fan?
am. You know,
Oh.
I listened to the last month calling. Right.
Wow.
Amazing.
What's your favorite episode?
Calling. I like
Calling.
that one. a lot.
I was there.
Mhm.
All right.
Of course.
Anyways.
Actually, same.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, you were there. Anyway, this is not me to know you, dude. That's not me to
Okay,
know you.
okay.
Okay. So tell us about yourself, Stanley. What's your name, age, favorite ice cream flavor? I don't know what else you want to say. Go ahead.
Feels like a job interview. Do you want my full name?
Sure, if you if you don't mind.
My name is Stanley. Like I said at the start, my last name is very Espanol, Izquierdo. Um, and do you guys want me to say my ministries?
Go
too?
ahead. Yeah, go for it.
Um,
Yeah.
The ministries that I am in is the worship team, praise moves, and the
Yeah.
welcome team. I also helped out a little bit for VBS, so Pastor Gina put me in the kids ministry as well. Sometimes I host as well before the service starts. So
Sometimes or
You do a lot of things.
so that's just, I guess, some of the things I've been doing around here.
interesting.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right. It's why is it not awkward? This is so not awkward at all. Anyway, so I heard they usually do games, right? Like
Yeah.
name 3. I think it was EJ who made that game. But so we're gonna do that game today, okay? So the game for today is name 3. I guess the name 3 will be name 3 things that you're very passionate about.
3 things I'm passionate about. Well, from the top of my head, the first thing that really comes up. This is more, I guess, a lot more recent in my life. I would say God. Right?
God.
He's really the first thing that I would say.
Amen.
And the second one would be music.
Music.
And the third one, I was having a little bit of brain fart of what I was gonna say, but I guess the closest thing I could say is family, and not just, I would say, blood relation family. Like, this is a family.
Oh,
Right.
family.
My
This is-
friends
oh, it's not
and-
seen.
yeah.
They don't see
Yeah,
it.
the side
anyway,
it says
but
this is family, right?
go to church to see it.
So yeah, those are really the 3 things I would say.
So God, music, and family.
Yes.
GMF.
Ooh, this guy just came up.
GMF.
Anyways,
Right?
it-
I don't know what that means, but yeah. Yeah. Do you have? I think you have a question for him, right?
So our topic today is being true, right?
Right.
And
Being true to
so
yourself.
You name 3 things that you're passionate about. And have you ever been in a situation where you had to, like, at least one, like, hide away one of your passion just to fit in front of, like, with your friends or a group?
Cover up something just to.
Yeah, I think I would say that there has been a point where I felt like I could, I needed to hide a part of myself in order to fit in with a certain crowd. But that's not the case anymore, obviously,
That's good.
because of God, right?
Yeah.
He made us in His own image, and we're all unique, right? And I think that that alone is a very powerful thing, right? I don't think there should be any shame in the things that we love and the things that we do, especially for the church, right? But I'm gonna stop talking.
No, keep
No, keep going. We really want to know about you. This is me to know you. Apparently.
Okay. Sorry, I talk a lot. My bad. As for, like, the one thing I guess that really changed it was that when I accepted Christ. One thing that I'm saying that because I never thought I would be so open about my faith. Not just with fellow like you guys, right? Even just people outside of the church. I just love talking about Him, and I try to invite other people to come to church, right? I want them to experience the same thing that I'm experiencing and that we experience,
Yeah.
right, through His love. And before I never before I accepted Him, I've always been also a church kid, right? My parents have always been Christian,
Yeah.
but I always just went to church for the sake of it. And whenever I saw other people at church raising their hands
Yeah.
or thing, I always wondered why they did that, or I found it a little odd at the time why they did that. But now here I
but
am.
no, you.
That's
yeah.
literally what I'm doing now, and
Wow.
it's because, I think that's just a testimony of His
I was gonna say,
faithfulness.
that's a testimony right there.
Right.
if there's one thing, because we're talking about being true to yourself, right? Follow-up question, I guess. I feel like this is gonna come up later in this episode, but we'll see. If there's one word that you would describe yourself, what would you think? Would that be one word? Like, how do you think people see you as one word?
Oh, that's a hard one.
There's one word.
Just one word.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the first thing that
The first thing comes to
The
your mind.
first thing that came up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would say blessed.
Blessed.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
That's
think
a very.
yeah.
it's more. I say
I
that.
really like that answer.
I think it's more catered towards the fact that the things that are happening around me, not
Mhm.
necessarily. Well, it's about myself. I was gonna say not necessarily about me, but it has to be about
Yeah,
me.
of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I would say that's the first thing that came up is
Blessed. You're
um,
blessed.
because the things that are happening in my life, and the people around me, the church, right?
Yeah.
This is a really big blessing,
Mhm.
right? This whole church, and obviously, that's because of God, right?
Right.
It all just comes down to Him. It all just falls into Him at
Oh.
the end of the day. So yeah, I
Cool.
would say blessed.
Stanley the Blessed. All right. You heard it here first, all right? You heard it here first. Anyway, I guess that. Anyway, so I guess that's it for me to know you, right?
Yeah,
Did
give it
you-
up for Stanley.
Give it up for Stanley, everyone! Woo! And this is Me to Know You, so we'll carry on to the
Final.
episode, the final part of the episode. So keep watching, and there's probably a surprise at the end. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Say bye.
Thank you so much, Stanley. Well,
Yeah.
that's a lot of
Thanks, Stan.
passions.
A lot
Very
of
passionate man.
Yeah, you guys be the judge if
that sounds wrong. Anyways.
What?
Okay.
you guys be the judge if Stanley was being true to yourself, to
Mhm.
himself.
To himself.
But I think honestly, Stanley is like one of those most true to yourself person that I know.
Yeah.
Because if we were all to define him and like other group of
Okay,
friends
ready?
he has, it would be the same.
The number one adjective to
Oh,
describe.
one, 2, 3,
Loud. Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
So I guess it's a different definition.
Crazy
right?
loud, bro. Crazy
Yeah.
loud.
Crazy loud. I mean, the same thing.
Yeah, loud, crazy, crazy loud.
Loud people are crazy.
So I guess we're all trying to be somehow Stanley one day. It was just really being true to ourselves. And when we come into a room, everyone's like, "Yup, that's
That's
Chang.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's divine.
that's the
Uh,
Chang I know. That's the divine I know." You know
I
what I'm
guess.
saying?
Yes, sir.
But having been in those situations where you finally get to be like a Stanley and you get to be really who you are, like how was that? What is that feeling of freedom of finally being true to yourself, not having to lie anymore, like you said, not having to put up a front in front of other people rather than others?
It felt liberating.
I'm like
Mhm.
finally free. I can finally like my
Yeah.
anime in peace.
I know, like I can enjoy what I like,
Yeah.
not in like hiding
Yeah,
places.
doesn't it get
Yeah.
so tiring being someone else
I
that you're not, you know?
Aren't you tired?
Aren't you guys tired? Aren't you tired?
Hey, it's supposed to be an
Hey.
advice, okay? You're not supposed to guilt trip
I'm
people.
kidding. But yeah, no, it is very tiring to be one person, and you know, it's nice, you know.
And also like you don't have to worry about whether I am getting this validation from someone.
Yes.
And I don't have to worry about any of that because it
Mhm.
doesn't matter,
Yep.
right? Like if you know who you are, then you're set, you're secured. Why does it even matter if you think I'm this?
Yeah.
Like we give people's opinions way too much credit.
Yep.
Yeah.
When they don't even matter.
And this is
at
like
all.
something that's just coming from our own like perspective. Like maybe they don't even care about that, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
I'm just thinking, oh, maybe Mijay thinks I'm cool if I watch anime.
Oh my
But like
gosh.
at the end of the day, he's not really thinking about that. You
Yeah.
know?
like
He's probably
So-
thinking
He
about
could care
someone
less
else.
about- care
you
less
know?
about me, bro.
Yikes. Who is he
Yeah.
thinking about then?
But honestly, it's like that. Like you think that all these people are actually thinking about what you like and stuff like that, but you know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're just lying to, or you're just making your life really hard.
harder for
Yeah.
yourself.
For what?
Yeah.
For what?
For what?
He's really,
Really?
guilt tripping all of you in this moment. Yeah.
And also don't try to fit a mold that like was not already
made for
created.
you.
Yeah, created what was I saying? Not when if it's not God who like said that
Mm-hmm.
this is what you are, then
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all made differently, and if we were all to be the same person, what fun would that be,
I
right?
know.
Boring.
Boring. You're
Imagine if-
boring. No, I'm kidding.
Imagine if we're all EJs. Oh my
Oh,
God, I get
man.
tired of this world.
Yeah. Okay, too far.
Too far. My bad.
Okay. See, no filter. This is the type of
Ah.
friend you need.
No, no,
And
no.
speaking of friends, actually being true to yourself, the effects of it, it attracts the right people.
Mhm.
That's what it does.
That's
Not only is
true.
it gonna get rid of the ones that was difficult, who had difficult time accepting you, but it will attract the right people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe? Sorry, it's not really off topic, but do
Here we go.
you believe in like those friends? How they say, some friends are just for seasons.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
I get it,
That is
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
what does that make it?
Like, I don't know. Does that mean that you're different
You were
in one
different that season.
season?
Maybe it's like a growing time for them, and maybe at
That's
this
true.
time I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm really into something, and then I don't know.
Because
Seasonal
So
Yeah.
you outgrew them
Yeah.
in a sense.
Yeah, some people mature more differently than others, maybe.
Yeah.
And at this point, I matured. Wow.
Wow. She's so mature.
I'm so
I'm
mature.
emotionally mature.
Yeah, no, but again, like a lot of people, that regardless of age, there are a lot of adults that are very childlike. I'm not
Yes,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true.
I'm sorry, she just Chang is on a roll today.
Sorry.
No, but if you think
Where's
about
my
it,
husband?
some adults, they just never grow up, and sometimes you find other people that grow with you.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah.
that's your season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more advices for those who are hesitant
Uh,
to
to
show
be
their
who you
true
are.
self?
True colors.
I think I want to touch base upon the people who are looking for validation, because that's something that I've been relating to this whole talk. Like, I'm someone who needs validation or needed validation all the time. When I truly became myself, I did find those validations, but in the right way and in the right
Mm.
people. And it came at the time where I wasn't looking for them, because they weren't complimenting the fake me where I really tried so hard to impress them. They were complimenting who I was. And honestly, the effect of the compliments that you get when you're really who you are, the impact is so much bigger than, for example, the compliment they gave you because of your fake person's hard work. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's so different, because you're like, oh, they really know who I am.
Mm.
And it's nice.
Yeah.
Except for saying like, oh, they
Ooh.
know my hard work. They know
Yeah.
who I pretended to be.
Mm.
Do you guys have those people
What?
in your life that
What?
just tells it as it is, like who you are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's that?
Like, no filter? Or
Yeah.
like,
Well, I mean, like not to bring you down, but like,
Oh, like constructive criticism.
yeah.
oh, yeah.
Or like tells you like, hey, this is like this
You're
is
getting out of hand a little bit.
Yeah.
like
no, no.
that.
I mean, like this is really who you are. Like,
Yes.
you're-
Oh, I have that.
yeah, my husband.
Mm.
Oh, wait, I was going to say same. My partner also.
Yeah.
EJ. Yeah.
Oh, what about you?
No, no,
Is it
nobody.
Is it
No,
not
no, none of
George?
this, none of this
Yeah.
nonsense.
Actually,
I'll
he's
say my mom.
Yeah.
My mom is like my best
Nah,
friend.
Not my parents. Sometimes
but-
I don't trust.
Oh, I trust my mom so much, bro. And she tells me if I'm getting out of line or if, and I take it as like constructive because she knows.
Yeah.
That's like my best source.
also my sisters, actually.
Mm.
As innocent as they are, sometimes they tell me like, oh, you've been happy so lately or something like that. And I'm like,
Aw.
aw, and then I realize what I've been doing lately and
Yeah,
what
yeah,
they've
yeah.
been watching from me, and I'm like, then that's
Yeah.
who I am.
But what I also mean is that like they tell you something that you didn't even see in yourself.
Yeah.
You have those people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was a moment like Mark kind of did that for me, and I was like, oh, whoa, big revelation. Like what? Like damn. I appreciate those people
Mm.
in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
You actually are those people for me too.
Aw.
Aw.
That
Sad-
sounded so.
What about the
Aw.
vine? What about the vine?
I'm just glad to be here, guys.
Happy to be here in your presence.
Bruh.
But yeah, also like we're talking about again knowing your true self. I think the very very root of knowing your true self, like what we said before, is knowing God
Yep.
first, because there's some truths that you think is true,
Yep.
but they're really not.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, find it in God, because whatever God speaks or whatever God has spoken, that's what the main truth is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So read your Bibles, people. That's where you will find
Yeah.
who God is. Spend time with Him.
Exactly.
It's so important to spend time with God.
Yeah.
Like put it in as part of your day.
Yes.
It's a must. That's an advice that I can give.
Mm-hmm. Any last words from our special guest for today?
No.
Be yourself.
Be yourself. Yeah, I guess.
Be yourself.
Did
I
you have
guess.
fun? Like,
This whole time she's been pointing at the camera, and now she's like,
Oh, yeah.
be yourself, I guess.
anyways,
Anyways.
I love your true selves, guys.
Mm.
Please keep it up.
Yeah, you.
You
A little bit of
anyways.
tweaking here
They
and there.
love me. I know they do.
But yeah, for you guys, we do hope that somehow in this talk we've helped you a little bit about, if you're having, I guess, an identity crisis, we've helped you a little bit on figuring out how to conform to who you really are, not conforming to the world, how to find God, and how to find your identity in Him, and who exactly are you,
Who
Yeah.
are you?
Who are you
Who are
even,
you?
bro?
Let's end
Why
with
are you
that.
here,
Who
man?
are
Put it in the comments below. Who are you?
Who are you?
Those introductions in classes always throw me off like that.
I know,
Introduce
like-
yourself.
And like they go, oh, tell me one thing about yourself, like something cool, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I got nothing, bro.
I said I'm allergic to shrimp on the first day of
Oh
class.
man, I just say I play
How
ukulele.
I always say that I was born in Saudi Arabia. 'cause
That's pretty cool.
That's a fun
Not
fact.
everyone
Dang, you're
has
actually
that.
kind of cool though.
I know I am.
Uh,
I'm kinda
anyways,
lame.
be true to yourself for real,
Mhm.
Alright.
and find people who will truly accept that.
Mhm.
And let me just tell you that God is the number one person who will always accept who you are,
Mhm.
and God is the number one person in whom you will always find your true identity in. So thank you so much, Divine, for being here with us today as our
Thanks,
guest.
everybody.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go, the handshake. And thank you for tuning in again on another episode of Metanoia Chat Room. We will see you again in October.
Oh,
next month.
announcements. My bad.
Announcements. Do we have announcements? Yeah, I didn't know.
Do we have announcements? Yes.
I mean, Metanoia Live is actually
yeah.
on the day of the release. So
Oh, okay. See you,
see you here.
or we've seen you
Or
here.
we've seen you already here.
And
Prayer
I-
meeting
I
every
think that's it.
Friday.
yeah,
I can't find the announcements.
Midweek
I'm sorry.
Connect
Midweek Connect.
every Wednesday.
Or
And
if you have any other questions and topics that you would like for these people
actually,
to
yeah, we're running out, guys.
yeah, our producers are kind of struggling every week or every month. But if you
Happening is,
have
like, where we're squeezing.
yeah, we're squeezing every last
Yeah.
bit here.
Yeah,
but if you
so-
guys have any other suggestions, comments, questions,
Yes,
let us know because we are very open to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye, guys.
Thank you so much. See you next month.